Good morning, rise and shine. It is Green Nurse Carrie Lee and Sherry time. And guess what? We are live from Vegas. Exhibit City News is celebrating 25 years here in Las Vegas. Really grateful for Don Sevla for allowing me to come in and to record this week, as well as record some of our global programs. So really, really excited for that. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast. I'm here with Nurse Carrie Lee. Awesome, awesome. And we're going to get started with one of my favorite videos, just to kind of gather the troops. So here we go.
Change the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship. And what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Cannabis that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
Gets me every time. Gets me every time. Game changers.
You know, it's just very moving. You know what I mean? It brings us back to our why. You know, why are we doing all this? Why do we show up every day? Why? Right?
Yeah.
Because this plant is a game changer for
It
so
is.
many different
Total
people.
life
There's
changer.
so many.
Life changer.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you know what I love, Carrie Lee, is that we, you know, not only are we involved in the science of it and the evolution of how plant medicines and cannabinoids are working, you know, working with people, but also just on the other aspect of it, from decreasing that stigma, being those stigma fighters, being okay, being comfortable in our own skin, you know, and then taking the stories. So the stories of how cannabis has blessed our hot messes. Right?
Hot mess
Think
express,
about it.
babe.
Yeah. And so
Amen.
that's why we're here everywhere, everywhere, every day, bringing you education, you know, for your empowerment. So Carrie Lee,
Absolutely.
really psyched to have you here. We've got Green Nurse Carrie Lee, Iowa Daily 5 to Thrive. She's doing amazing things in the community. She has her own business, Soul Thrive, which is the Daily 5 to Thrive, which we talk about frequently. She's director of nursing at 10am And she is actually one of our nursing supervisors and green nurse at Holistic Caring. So Carrie Lee, I want you all to give everyone a big, what you do. I love how you explain what you do, because it's really, you bring your personality to the forefront. Like, you bring your core, your essence, your truth, your reality, your passion, right? So yeah.
Thank you.
And I
Aw.
love how you talk about it too. It's just very, very authentic. So everyone, we got
Well,
Carrie Lee here. Carrie Lee in the
really,
house.
really. So, I mean, what I do is I connect human beings to the plant. I connect patients in Iowa to Iowa's medical cannabidiol program, and I teach about the endocannabinoid system. And I also show people how to choose products safely and how to use them in an effective way so that they can achieve their health goals. Um, I'm a stigma fighter for mental health and also for cannabis, the plant, and amongst other modalities. So, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
pleasure and an honor to be able to work with other people and show them how they can heal themselves.
there we go.
It's really spreading that green nurse love and spreading, empowerment, you know?
It is, yeah, and
So,
multiple different levels, and so, what are we doing here? We're bringing high science, hope, inspiration, growth, healing. It's the
yes,
art and science of nursing. So the art of nursing comes forth in some of the little extra things that we do. I just remember, back in those days, is doing, the holistic caring stuff, the energy healing, the cards, the
yes,
meditations, the essential oils, all of these different types of practices. I was like, what could I ever use these for in the future? And I'm like, I don't know, but you know what? Who cares? They feel good and they're
yes,
helping.
they
And so,
do.
so now here we are as nurses, bringing back all of the different things that we know help to heal people. And so some of them are affirmations, some of them are changing our thought processes, some of them are meditating, quiet prayer. And so what we like to do on most mornings is to tap into one of those things, just to open up those dendrites, open up
Yes.
the hippocampus and all areas of your brain, right? To start to look at things from a different perspective. So, Carrie Lee, today we're gonna it's Happy Hempy Hump Day.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about the holidays. We're gonna talk about a little bit, get into that mental wellness, mental health, some of the challenges that people may have when you're being around too many people, and some of the issues around panic attacks and agoraphobia, that a lot of people might have that they don't want to talk about. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how cannabis can really, really help. So what do we have here for the reading today, Miss Carrie Lee?
So today, this is actually from Judith Orloff, MD's Her Thriving as an Empath. It's a daily inspo. It's like a calendar in a book, so every day there's a message. And today's was absolutely perfect considering we're talking about agoraphobia and the holiday season. And with that, the crowds, the shopping, the parties, the celebrations, the additional pressure on anyone really to perform at a higher level during the season. But for those that battle any form of panic disorder, agoraphobia, PTSD, it can become a little bit more daunting. So today's message: overwhelmed by crowds.
Ooh, there
During the
you go.
holidays, the world becomes particularly crowded. Take special precautions to practice self care around swarms of people. Be mindful not to become overwhelmed in crowds. Consider limiting your exposure to them. Since people's energy fields overlap when they are in close proximity, you may be vulnerable to absorbing the stress of others. If you visit shopping malls, large stores such as Costco or Walmart, or other busy places, make sure that you're rested and that you've eaten some protein beforehand to ground yourself. Keep breathing
Mhm.
deeply to circulate unwanted energy out of your body and plan a few minutes to sit or meditate on benches or in the bathroom. Taking periodic mini breaks to replenish yourself can help you stay more centered and less prone to being drained. Then you can more
There you
easily find joy in the season's festive atmosphere while you safeguard your energy.
go.
And so today's intention with that message: I will practice self care in crowded locations to avoid feeling overloaded or taking on other people's stress. I will not go to crowded environments unless I feel centered and ready for the task.
There you go.
It's
Peace
invaluable
begins with
information.
me.
Yes.
It is, right? So overwhelmed by crowds, what do we do? If it's too people-y, if you're feeling that energetic drain, right? Here it is. We got the daily 5 to thrive that we can do in the background, right? Things that we
Yes.
can do to support and
Yes.
nourish our endocannabinoid system in anticipation that we're going to be in these huge people-y, energetic draining situations, right? So
Absolutely.
that we,
Making sure that you get adequate sleep at night and good nutrition, not just the junk. It's especially tempting during this time of the years with all of the sugary treats and all that stuff. But stay
yeah,
on task and at least have something nutrient dense every day.
yeah,
Staying physical, moving your body on a daily basis, whether that's through today I just did a quick 10-minute morning yoga stretch. It was just
yeah,
enough to really move my body and just ooh, the stretching feels so yummy. And then nourishing your spirituality, nourishing your inner realm with meditation, with daily readings like this.
yeah,
And then lastly, exposing yourself to the lusciousness of the sunshine. And if you can't access the sun, getting it through your vitamin D, getting it through other grounding exercises is
yeah.
always a great idea. So
Yes.
I'm
And
rambling.
yeah, it's great. Well, this is great because it's true. This is preventative, preventative care that we can do, things that we can do to help us get through situations that we may anticipate that's going to cause us anxiety, right? So here
Yeah.
it is. If you've got PTSD, if you've got complex PTSD, if you've got an anxiety disorder, if you've got agoraphobia, if you've got a panic disorder, you know, you
Yes.
know that every single time that you go out, there is a potential. However, these different tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs, and cannabis, cannabinoid therapeutics, like we said, is a really great tool. Cannabinoids are one piece of the pie, all of these
Oh,
different things. So
thank you, plant
protection,
medicine.
this is funny. This is fun. And this is for all the woo-woo out there. Okay. So
Okay.
I love all of the other protective mechanisms because they work. We have got our Healy, which I've got running in the background, but even just like a little prayer of protection, I call in angels. I do. And you know what? And
Yes.
I'm not, I'm not embarrassed. My son taught me all about Archangel Michael. One day I was really struggling. He was 5 years old. He knows sign language. And he comes in and he goes, Mom, he says, Mom, there's this big angel here. And he wants you to know that everything's going to be okay. And I go, really? I go, oh, what's his name? And he goes, his name's Mike. And he's got a sword. I was like, Archangel Michael
Wow. That's
came. This is my
amazing.
5-year-old son. So you know what I
Oh
do?
my
I like
God.
took that as a sign. I'm like, you know what, little man, I'm going to use that as a prayer. So I call in the angels, Archangel Michael and
Oh,
the super warriors of light. Please come down and
yes.
protect me. Protect me today, all day, and always. Right. And I'll tell you what, being able to share that on podcast is tough, but you know what? I know for a fact it helps and it works. And so as a nurse, I have an obligation. If something helps me, it might just potentially help someone else. So,
Absolutely.
but that's just, we're going to share a couple really good stories too of how we've gotten through some situations that are agoraphobic kind of symptoms in nature. So we're going to talk about that now. Agoraphobia. And so what is it? It's an anxiety disorder that develops after one or more panic attacks. And it's defined as fear of places and situations that might cause panic, helplessness, or embarrassment. Symptoms include fear and avoidance of places and situations that might cause feelings of panic, entrapment, helplessness, or embarrassment. So you fear both anticipated and actual situations or places, just like being in enclosed or open space, being in a crowd, using public transportation, such as a bus, subway, or airplane, standing in line, being in public places, being in an airport in public places when things aren't going the way that they're supposed to be going. Right. And so basically, I've experienced a lot of these types of situations, and we're going to talk about that. So, but to be diagnosed with agoraphobia, you need to have an intense anxiety or fear of two particular agoraphobic situations, such as those things that we just listed above. And you also need to display avoidance behaviors related to those situations. So just to wrap it up, and then we're going to get into some stories Carrie Lee and I are going to share. So around 0.9% of adults in the United States have agoraphobia, according to the National Institute of Mental Health. It's affected females more than males, 3.4% females, 1.4% males. Nearly 41% of agoraphobic cases are thought to be severe. Severe means disabling, meaning that it interferes with people's activities of daily living and being able to get out and function in the world. So, and there's a spectrum of the severity of symptoms, and those symptoms can change over time. So just a little disclosure, and then we're going to snap into it. I had a severe form of agoraphobia at one point in time in my life. And using cannabinoids, using cognitive behavioral therapy, using psychiatry and mental wellness tools, utilizing all of the tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs to support the endocannabinoid system has helped me to step to the next level of it not being debilitating, right? Because life happens and you can't stop life from happening. But what can we do? What can we do? Right.
Yeah.
And so Carrie Lee, this is so fun because we've got so many stories of how we've been through it. And you're like part of one of the big ones. The fairy. So let's talk.
Ding. Oh my gosh.
Talk,
I mean, for instance, my agoraphobia is really seasonally based. With the seasonal depression, for me, it's I struggle with going into big box stores like Walmart, going to the grocery store, simple things that I have no problem doing during the spring or summer, right? So, with Christmas season, with Christmas shopping season in full swing, it's like I'm just like, I do avoidance behaviors kick in full drive. I do not want to go. I mean, girl, there were winters I don't even think I left the house once. I mean, my husband was doing all the grocery shopping. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough to have a significant other that I was living with that could pick up the slack in those areas, right? Just the one thing I've learned, one tool that I've realized is that I need to expose myself to humans. We all need to be around other human beings, and when you're secluded and isolated, and you lose that human interaction, it really truly it makes it worse.
That's how we,
quite frankly.
It does. And that's how we evolve. We are creatures that are supposed to be with others. We're not supposed to be alone and isolated. Truly, we're not. But it's interesting though, too. But here's the interesting thing is that over time, right, you get used to it. You become your own best friend, right? And you develop this really rich imagination. And so then, of course, what happens is once you start to step outside and need to do things, you start to really evaluate how it feels energetically, right? Being able to create a safe, contained space that a lot of people do that have the agoraphobia. They have to have a very controlled environment, very safe environment. It's knowing what to expect. Okay. And so then, that whole feng shui, I got the incense, the candles, the angels, the crystals. My house is really woo.
Same here. Same here.
So the interesting piece about that is that, okay, safe space. And now you go out. Well, guess what? How am I going to evolve? Why can't I take what I'm learning is I can create this really rich, beautiful, safe haven and container. Now I got to bring it in, right? Bring it in through
your
that
inner
meditation.
realm becomes your safe container, right?
So I become my haven myself. I can bring it in and utilize all of these different things, utilizing the imagination, right? The imagination is one of the biggest gifts that we have. And I'm telling you, my imagination has gotten me through things that I am telling you.
Oh my God. I love you. I love your little videos
years.
that you send, your little creative, you get into your little creative world and you're creating all this art, and it's comedic, and some of it's just so meaningful and it's just so thought provoking, and it never fails. You'll send me a video like randomly and I'm like having this real poo-poo moment, and all of a sudden here comes Sherry with a messenger. And I'm just like literally laughing, LOL. Like, literally, LO.
Like, literally,
I
like,
love
it's just
you. I love you.
well,
You
it's
know?
like, I have to make fun of I have to bring a different spin to some of the dysfunctional behaviors that I have
Yes.
because
Yes.
you know what? Because here it is plant medicines have helped me to be able to compartmentalize different areas of my personality. And it all depends upon the situation or environment you find yourself in. So this
Yeah.
is the part that's so cool about cannabinoids and plant medicines and adaptogens. It allows you to adapt more easily and readily
Absolutely. Oh,
to
yeah.
changes in your outside environment that feel completely 100% horrible.
It allows you, it calms those physiological processes that are making you want to just beeline out of there. It helps
Yeah.
to calm that so that you can step outside of the box within your mind,
Yes.
and so that exposure thing, it was like a dark gray day. I'd been in the house, stuck in the house for like 3, 4 days, and I knew I got to get out. You know what I did?
Yeah.
You want to know what I
What'd you
did?
do? What'd you do?
I went to the local coffee shop, packed
There
up
you
my
go.
laptop, packed up my AirPods. These things, AirPods, headphones, God sent for people with agoraphobia, people that struggle with any type of anxiety going out in public. Get yourself a good pair.
Yeah,
Listen to your
exactly.
music, right? So
Yes.
you would have never caught me in the coffee shop even a year
Yeah.
ago, Sherry.
Yeah, and that's the part.
It
So here's the
helps.
thing. The other thing, those are brain hacks, happiness hacks, doing different things, getting out of the usual routine, floss your teeth first, brush last, change it, switch it up, right? These are brain hacks. And this is the thing too. So that exposure therapy, right? That helps us to combat our fears, right? So during that, you slowly but surely expose yourself. Do you think I want to walk through a freaking airport with thousands of people,
Yeah,
with
right.
TSA agents, with
Ah,
rules and regulations and crowds and scans and unpacking the bag and taking shoes off and no, no, but
worrying about your plant medicine.
worrying about your plant medicine and the bottle of water that they pull you over for, and you have no
Yeah, oh
idea,
my God. Ah, good
So
times,
it's
good
just
times.
yes, but here's the thing too. What's interesting is my recent exposure to a horrible situation that I had to experience at the airport on Monday. Cannabis helped me to get through it and all of those different tools. Truly, you know
Good.
what I had? I had Christy Chapman's inhaler. Okay. So I was able to whip it out. Literally, it was everything
Nice.
that went wrong could go wrong. Okay. Had this visceral response that I couldn't control. That whole fight or flight went in. I knew it was happening. That's the thing. I knew I was very aware and I needed to pull out every tool
Yep.
possible. Didn't mean that I didn't cry. I fucking cried. Excuse my language. I was sweating, dry mouth, literally in like
Yeah, you feel
shaking,
it. Yep.
but I wasn't paralyzed and I was still able to take action. I was being able to move through it and didn't let it stop me from getting where I needed to go. Right. And
Exactly.
in the past, it would have been retreat.
Yep.
Not going. It would have been like this.
Yep.
Oh, the universe doesn't want me to go. Oh, the universe is making all kinds of blocks and preventing me from getting where I need to go. That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Life happens. Exactly.
And
And
cannabis
and
was able to
cannabis. Between cannabis, all these wonderful cannabis, and exposure therapy, CBD, all these things help us to build emotional
microdosing
resilience.
mushrooms,
It
microdosing
helps
mushrooms,
us to
psilocybin,
build
it does.
resilience so that we can flex and pivot in those moments
Yeah,
when we are so self-aware and very much
yeah.
feeling that panic coming on, and then we can pull out all the tools from the toolbox, right?
Yeah,
That's really what
yeah.
we do as cannabis nurses, right? I
We
mean,
do.
we're really, really, really bringing all of these little quirky, it could be like, studied tools, quirky
Yeah.
tools, alternative. It's just like, it's really just a treasure
Because
trove of
it's a
hugs and nugs. It really truly
that's
is.
It is a treasure trove because, and then look at it is, this is how I like look at it. Look at all these little tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs. Peace begins with me.
Yeah.
Inhaling, doing Denise's, you know, the
Feel
affirmations,
good
all of
stuff.
this stuff.
Yeah. Feel good
Feel
stuff.
good stuff. Look at it as it's
Absolutely.
being infused with cannabis love, right?
Yes.
And we know that cannabis helps us to adapt. So all these other tools do too. It's really just about stopping, reframing, getting back into a space of I can do hard things. I can do
Absolutely.
hard things. I
We
can
can
move
we
through
can
it.
we can like kick ass at hard things.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, but
Yeah.
high five, girl.
Totally.
Hell yes.
Yeah. So when you think about people that have agoraphobia, acute panic disorder, PTSD, complex PTSD, all of those things, the different anxiety disorders that exist, you know, what do? We treat them, you know, with conventional therapy, with psychiatry, all of these different things, and then medications. And oftentimes these medications have horrible, horrible side effects. So cannabinoid therapeutics, right? There is evidence that cannabis can help with anxiety disorders and phobias, of which agoraphobia is both. So like I said, agoraphobia is acute anxiety with phobias and a panic disorder component. So cannabis is what? It's natural, it's fast acting, it has fewer side effects. What we have found, you know, through real world evidence is that lower THC and higher CBD products can be used to what? Reduce stress, build resiliency, relieve anxiety, eliminate panic, improve focus, help to think more clearly, providing a calming effect, prevent tension, prevent fatigue, nervousness, and nausea, make you more focused and thinking more clearly. And also, the other positive effects is that relaxation, that
Yes.
elation, right?
Hmm.
The reversal of thinking from negative to positive, right?
Reframe. Yep.
Reframe. It
Absolutely.
helps us to
Reframe.
process emotion, helps thought patterns in control. And, you know, our experiences, you know, of being able to control symptoms is really, really empowering, you
It
know, really,
is.
really empowering. Yeah.
It is.
So what do you think about strains? Because we're inhalation girls, Spicoli 1 and Spicoli 2.
Oh, big time.
We
Oh my
inhale, we
God.
inhale. Not afraid, not
I
ashamed.
like to inhale, my friends. Absolutely. I gotta say for the agoraphobia, for the anxiousness, I like to go with an indica dominant. Um, and I'm a huge fan of really anything that falls under the Girl Scout cookie
There you go.
chemovar.
Cookie,
So
cookie.
that's my favorite, my all-time favorite. And then some other strains we have what? Black Widow, Romulan, Big Bud. I like big buds and I cannot lie. African Kush.
Yeah, yeah. And then we
So,
have what? We have our CBD, right? So there's
oh yeah.
CBD is readily available in a lot of those indica type strains. But the other thing we want to talk about too is we like CBD even as a preventative mechanism. I look at it as a supplement, right?
Yeah.
CBD works on 64 targets in the body. It indirectly impacts the CB1 and CB2 receptors, helping to modulate, dial up or dial down the THC effect. CBD works on all of the other neurotransmitter signaling systems, serotonin, dopamine, opioid signaling, you know, the PPAR, the GABA, the glutamate, the acetylcholine, the histamine, all of these neurotransmitters. CBD works. And so it makes sense that we would want to take CBD as a supplement. And so what do we got
Absolutely.
going on, Carrie Lee? This is plug time because it's Wednesday. Oh my God, this is good news. So we've got Hemp Quest t-shirt on right here. Let me get this banner down. Get rid of this banner.
Can you
So Hemp
see?
Quest, yes. Hemp Quest is one of our new Green Nurse approved marketplace.
I've
Hemp
also
Quest,
got some CBD
yeah, the
for full
Hemp
spectrum
Quest.
CBD tincture.
Yeah. Yeah. So a Hemp Quest is one of our Green Nurse approved. Nicole Ryan, I'm going to be interviewing tonight. So she's a registered nurse. She has a compelling story of what brought her into the cannabis space as a cannabis nurse. Also, what propelled her and her partner to start Hemp Quest, started growing hemp and started making medicine. And so she's also one of our graduating nurses from the licensing program at Holistic Caring. and going to be one of our nursing treatment nurses for our CBD and cannabis nurse line that is going to be launching in January of 2022. So I'm going to
Nice.
be really, really excited to completely interview her, because she did send me a lot of her products. I actually have her roll on, and I loved her hemp pre-rolls. Holy schmoly, really good.
Nice. I
I
haven't
have
dove
one
into
that I'm
those
actually
quite
going to
yet.
smoke. I'm going to smoke one tonight on the
Nice.
show.
I'm so excited for her because, she has been following the Green Nurse for quite some time, and to be able to see her go from
No.
point A to now, that she's got her business, she's launching her cannabis nurse consulting business. I mean, it's just,
Yeah,
it makes me so
it's
proud.
great. Well, that's the part, oops, hide that. And that's the part that I love so much as well too, is that, what we're doing here at Holistic Caring. So the Green Nurses at Holistic Caring, I'm going to plug us right now. Let me pull
Oh
this up.
yeah.
Well, here's the reason why. Okay. So what we're doing is we're providing education, we're providing leadership, we're providing coaching and mentoring. So not only are you going to get these programs, these certificate programs, but you're also going to get mentoring with real live patients. And then you have the opportunity, if you're a nurse, to come work with us as one of our treatment nurses, to work on the nurse line that we're going to be having, that we're launching in January of 2022. It is going to be a nurse line that we're going to be able to pay nurses, and the patients are going to be able to get free care. We're going to be able to call up and be like, hello, I want to speak to Green Nurse Carrie Lee. Right. And so then, and creating, we're act as triage nurses. So answering questions and helping direct patients to either make appointments or sign up for the 15-minute free hotline, or to get into the community, or how to shop for high quality medicines, right? We're looking at purity and
Absolutely.
potency, cannabinoid profiles, looking at everything, residual solvents, contaminants, insecticides, pesticides, you name it. We want to know. And then we're having it evaluated even further, third-party testing. And we have 2 pharmacists that have come on board that are going to also be evaluating the product. So really, really excited. So Nicole, Ryan, really pumped to have you on tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central Time. I am live from Vegas at Exhibit City News. And join us tonight. And remember, everyone, what it's all about. Is it about, Carrie Lee?
Living your best life and showing others how to do the same.
Yes. Thank you, Carrie Lee, for being with us today. We'll see you guys later tonight. Have a good one. Stay elevated.